Welcome along to another episode. You join us inside my cab, which is the MAN TGX XXL. It's a 510, so it's 510 horsepower, and it's that's on a straight six as well. So it's a 13 litre straight six. So it's not a bad. We've got it's the biggest cab that MAN do at the moment. Plenty of space in here. As you can see, I'm standing up. There's a sunroof. Plenty of space. We've got locker space here in the front. In this particular one, we've got the microwave. So nice and easy. Just pop your food in there, job done. Give that a close. I got some storage space here, and then obviously there all the stuff that we do. I'll get in a bit more into the closer of things now. So as we look around the cab here, it's, you can see as we look around the cab here, you can see more of the controls here and everything. We'll come a bit more into that just shortly. Dust there. The breath might fall off. You've got some more pocket storage space here. I just put all my stuff in, and obviously the controls there for the top bunk, which is here behind my flag. That's the top bunk. I don't particularly use this, obviously, because I'm in the cab of my own, and the insurance don't allow us to go. Insurance don't allow us to go with passengers, if you know what I mean, unless there's another staff member. So I sleep down here. So nice little space. You've got a couple of controls here. This is obviously charging points, 24 volt as well. My GoPro holder, if you're wondering what that is there. And lights, sunroof open and close, and a couple of USB charging points. If you're wondering why I got teenager written on a number plate there, it's because I listen to loud music, and obviously the boys take the mick. If you're wondering what that mark is there, it was from the driver before me. It was something that dripped down from the top bunk onto there and run down, and I honestly don't know how to get it off. I've tried, but I don't know how to get it off. It's a bit of a stain that I can't remove. So if anybody knows how to remove that stain, let me know. It doesn't. It's only, if you notice, if I switch the light off, well, it still looks bad on the camera. Either way, like, just a couple of stuff you don't need to see there. You got a couple of lights inside the cab as well. You know, map lights as they call them, or reading lights if you've got your book in the light. And the sunroof up the top there. She's got a couple of ones. You've got the fly net, and you got the full blackout then. The trouble is, I leave it like this because when the sun gets up, in the morning, it's a good time to get up, to be honest with you. And sometimes, especially winter times, if the sun gets up, then you know you're late for work, because you should be starting when it's dark. But if you leave it like that, then you're slept in, and your body's not going to know that you're awake. That you should be awake, I should say. Down below then, obviously you've got the passenger window with the mirrors and the blind spot mirror, which looks down. It's just to see if there's any bikes there. And you've got the side view camera, which covers that blind spot. That's an absolute godsend, because of what I can see in that mirror, in that camera, I can't see in any of my mirrors. So it does make a big difference. You've got the height marker here, which you can change. Just pull off and change the numbers on it then for whatever your height adjusts. Very important, that is, because the police will fine you for it if it's not done properly. We've got this useless passenger seat for no reason at all. Don't really need it, just takes up space. Nobody ever sits in it. I don't really use it. And then we got this little drawer space, like a glove box. I've seen some of them with tables, and they come out and you can sit in the passenger seat and eat food in. I've even seen ones in the Volvo FHs where they got a platform here where you can put a TV on, and then that passenger seat turns and you can watch TV. So that makes a difference. And if you've got a DAF, which has got a bigger space on the bed, which I have seen, this bed will adjust, so you can have it. It's like a hospital bed, where the bottom comes up and the top comes up, and hell of a difference. So in by here then, as we pull out the drawer, we got our fridge, which is just stocked with all my food and stuff. And then we got another storage space here, which has got more of my stuff in there. So non-ambient stuff. Like, if you're wondering about the floor, this is my own floor, my padded. It's not actually factory stuff. So what I put in there is a bit nicer to walk on, and it looks a bit more, I don't know, comfortable when you're in the cab. Ignore the dirty part there, because that's when I get in and out the truck and I go to the quarries. That's the dirty part. So up here then, what we've got here is, don't ask me what that is. It's something to do with something. This is our CB that we communicate with other drivers, or we communicate with the escort. You've got our lights to the back of the unit so that we can see. We've got our tacho, so that records everything that we do for the day. And then we insert our card there, the tacho card. Not touching on that because it's in. This silver bit here is linked up to that. So anywhere they can download us, and then that will flash in and they remotely download our tacho. And it downloads our card as well, so you don't have to download your card anymore. It's all done through here now. Interior lights on and off here. Sunroof open, sunroof close, blind down, blind up, blind down. I'm not going to do blind up again, but I just wanted to show you a point. See that little gap there? That little gap there, that's, when that blinds down, that's the only place that the sun will ever come through, is there. And then you've got that forward viewing mirror as well, which looks over the front of our bumper. Down below then, you've got a few sensors up the top there. You've got a sensor down there, you've got a sensor, vents, usual stuff. Try not to get the shadow out of the way, because I've got my headlamp on, because last time, I've tried recording this a few times now, and it just wasn't bright enough for you to see stuff, which was a bit of a pain. So as we come down here, try not to get the shadow of the camera in here. You can see the shadows here. See the shadows? It's just because I got a light on there, so I'm illuminated everything. So I'll try my best on this one, so apologise if I get it wrong. Just because I got a backlight, just because if I switch the light off, see how dark it is? So it's better if it's brighter, you can see stuff in. So by you then, you've got the lane control. Basically what this happens is that if you cross over the lane without indicating, you'll just play a noise to the speakers just to let you know you've crossed it. Rear view camera, it's there but it's not fitted. Radio, you've got the numbers, and obviously radio on and off and search. This is your heating controls then, so this does your night heater and stuff like that. Try to move this in a way that don't get a camera on it. Shadow. Right, okay, there we go. So then you got max blow in, recirculate air, automatic, auto, aircon, where you want the direction of it. For the window vents, so you do mist up the side of the windows with the heat. Night heater, but it also can do cooling as well. So if you set it down to low, it'll blow ambient air in. And obviously you've got a timer here. Well, obviously you don't know that, but anyway, you've got a timer here for so say if you're away from the truck over the night and you want to set it for say 5:30, half hour before you come into work in the morning, you set that, and then you can have a nice warm truck before you start. So that's always a nice little handy thing to have. Hill assist here, so that allows you, it automatically holds the brake while you can change your foot from brake to throttle, because there's no clutch on this. It's automatic. Lift your axle, orange beacons, hazard lights. Lift your axle with weight on, so you transfer your weight onto the rear axle, so you don't so you can gain more grip. Use that quite often. Off-road, use that quite often. And then diff lock as well. And on here you've got the config for the lights. Try not to block the cameras because it's anyway, config for lights. Handbrake, it's an automatic handbrake on this, but you can control it on that one. Exhauster, so you can switch it off. So like if you go into a flammable area, you can switch it off and it stops it going into it stops it going into regen mode. Not an exhauster, but it stops it going into regen mode. This one down here then is for the reversing beacon. Load of blanks down here. Window controls here, so you've got obviously all the side controls and heated mirrors, windows up and down, and lock your doors. On the dash then, you got a couple of switches here. You can change your modes. You can change from cruise control to limiter. You can set the cruise control, and obviously you can set the how much overspeed you want. What I mean by that is that everything's limited to 56, but we can control how much. If you go weight down, the weight's going to push you past 56, and before the automatic retarder comes in, you can set it for 1 or 2 mile an hour over, 4 miles an hour over, so that'll be 60 mile an hour, and then obviously the retarder comes in. Volume controls, phone. On the back here then, it's on the back here then you got push forward, you got the automatic full beams, pull back is your full beams. But here's your wipers, leave it on that one, it comes on automatic. Sorry, leave it on that one there and it's automatic, or you can switch it off, it's up to you. But if you adjust these, you can change the speed of it. Just leave it there, it comes on automatic anyway. And then on the side then is just the wash and the flash of the full beams. On this side then you got voice activation, never really use it. Menu buttons, back on the menu, and then you got select where you want your audio coming from, and then skip tracks, if you know what I mean. But here then on the controls, this is your gear stick and retarder. So but here you select what gear you want in. So you got drive, reverse and neutral, or in some cases day mode, night mode, race mode, as the joke goes. So you can push down to knock it down a gear, and pull up to knock it up a gear when you're in manual. And if you're not in manual, you can increase the retarder then as well. So you just switch it on there, you can increase the retarder and the retarder, no sorry, correct myself. So that's up and down on the gears, and then down there is retarder and up to off. So that's the retarders. We'll have a look at the menu now. I'll take my light off of this one because you're not going to need it. So on the dash, put the interior light back on.
If you get it right.
So here's the dash, just loading up now. But here you got your lights, automatic and thing, full beam, the usual stuff. Config for your lights, you press that and you can go into the menus for the lights, instrument lighting, your mileage, your trip, and obviously the headlamp beam thing. Menu then, vehicle check, oil level. The oil level is a bit of a nuisance for this because the old ones used to give you like a dipstick sort of thing. On this now, if you check the oil level, it just comes up as fill level okay, and it'll be fill level okay until it needs oil, and then it'll say top up oil, which is, it's not really good, is it? Because at the end of the day you would like to know if you're running on a quarter of the dipstick, and then you could know to top it up before it actually tells you to top it up. Service intervals, light test. So basically what this does, it'll go through a light sequence so you can check all the bulbs. So you click that on, and then you can, when you're doing your first use check, you can run through all the lights in, and it'll tell you if they're all running fine. Coolant temperature, just give you a temperature, what the coolant is. Battery voltage, we're running a couple of things at the moment, so it's 25.1. It's a 24 volt system, but it is going to be slightly higher because we haven't long stopped. Brake line ends, so you can see what's remaining on your brakes, on your brake pads. And supply pressure then, so you can simply see how much bar. So that's 1 bar is 1 atmospheric pressure, so what you feel around your body. So 1 bar is what you feel outside, so when you go outside, that's 1 bar, and obviously then increase a bar is increase that atmospheric pressure each time. So that's 7.2 of the atmospheric pressure around us, so it can vary on altitude and stuff like that, but that's 7.2 bar of what's around us. You got driving data here, so your driving times, daily driving time. But here then you got the boxes, and on the boxes you can see, I'll point them out, so you can see your 10 hours when you've done a 10 hour, and then for your working day then, if you've gone over 13 you can see that you've that box will take up as well. So as you can see, we can do 2 10-hour drive-ins a week, and we can do 3-hour 15s work in a week. So that's anything over. So when we reduce our break from 11 hours down to 9. Now bear in mind, if you're doing this sort of stuff, it does work 2 ways. It's 2 ways you can have your daily rest. That's 11 hours off after your shift. So that's 13 hours work, 11 hours off, and that's your daily working time and daily hours rest in a 24-hour period, because it adds up to 24. Or you could do a split rest, which is you work, you have 3 hours off doing your work where you're free to utilize your time, you carry on working, and then you have 9 hours off. So that means that during the day then you've had 12 hours off, so it's an extra hour, but you have split it into 2 segments, and that again won't count as a 15. That's your split daily rest. So them are the 2 legal requirements. Anything other than that, so like if you have 10 hours off, 9 hours off, then you have reduced your break. If you do happen to stop and you've done say 14 hours work and then you stop for 11 hours, you've still used one of your 15s, because you've worked over your 13-hour period. So even 13 hours and 1 second or 13 hours and 1 minute, you've still gone over, which means that you have reduced even if you have had 11 hours off, because remember, it's in a 24-hour period. You've got to have 11 hours off. So if you have less than 11 hours off in that 24-hour period, you've reduced, unless you've split your daily rest and you've had 3 followed by a 9. Okay, so where were we? My GoPro overheated then. So we go back into the menu where we were driving theatre. We're on the driving times with me. So after the daily driving time, we got weekly driving times. So it just shows you what you've done in 1 week and a fortnight then, so you know you're not going to go over your 90 hours, because that's the law. I'm not going to go into that too much details, you just want to know what the information is. So you got settings, you got the general, where you can adjust the date and time, language and units, because as you can see we're in kilometres by there, but we're in miles per hour for the speedo. It's just the old way of doing it, as some people like prefer to have miles, but the old school way of doing it, you always wrote on a tacho that you had kilometres, and the tacho above your head will always be in kilometres anyway, so it's just an old way of doing it. So that's why that's different. You got your fuel gauge, AdBlue, and then what mode you want to drive in. So you got efficiency plus performance. The red lion is the better one, and then maneuver as well. So units, which is what I've just talked about now. Then you got your lights. You can adjust settings on your lights. When you go backwards, you can reverse to the dash so you don't see it. Footwell lighting, you can have that switched on. Interior lighting, and you know, just times and stuff like that there. So when open door and central locking, warning sounds, maintenance, they just give you all the settings. Driver assistance, that just, you know, brake-matic. So if you put your brake down to 30 mile an hour, when you take your foot off brake, if it tries to go faster, it brings a retarder in and slows you back down to 30 if it's strong enough. What I mean is that when you're carrying heavy weights like we do, sometimes there's not enough and you still got to use the brakes. You can't rely on it. So that's them sort of settings. Vehicle check, I've gone through all them, haven't I? And so that's basically the menu options on this. You can adjust the radio on it, go into a navigation, so you got a bit of a map there, and obviously a phone when it is connected then. That is on the other side then of the menus. Over here then, when we come up to this, I've got a bit of a bad foot. When we come to this, we've got Apple Play and Mirror Link. Don't use any of them. I haven't got an Apple phone, and that Mirror Link I think is for older Android phones. So that's Apple applications. So if you've got apps in there with that Android link and stuff like that, it goes, I don't know. Radio, just make sure the volume's down, don't want any copyright. So you can select it on FM stations, and then you can change the band then. So you got AM shortwave, DAB, AM long wave, AM medium wave. So you can come on the DAB and then click on all stations, and you got all the stations you could ever think of. So that's good, because you know, I mean, you can program into your favourite station and get it anywhere in the country. So that's pretty good. So if you're wondering how I'm controlling this, before we go any further, down here is that wheel. So this big wheel here controls the main menu sections, and then you push down on the button to choose stuff, and then you've got the smaller wheel which can scroll through stuff, and then on top of this, that's touch sensitive, so when you're in like sat nav you can write in that sort of stuff, but it's not accurate. You're better off just selecting where you need to be, and I'll show you what that is now. So we got media. This just allows you, when you go to source, you can pick, if your Bluetooth is connected on your phone, it'll come up as Bluetooth then, but it's got SD card, which is located down in the fuse box, which is just the SD card for the camera, and not for the camera, for the satellite navigation. Then you've got the auxiliary, which is these ports here, so you can auxiliary in and USB in if you wanted to use them. Obviously 24 volt charger and a 12 volt charger there. So that's what that's for. And then you can set them in for quiet, medium and loud. Not anyway, away from media. Navigation. This is where you can set your destinations and all the other things. Select a point on the map, as it has got built-in sat nav. Not that I would trust it. Which is the map here. So it can show where we are. If you zoom in, you have got traffic and stuff like that. But what I'll do, I'll go back to navigation now, and I'll show you how accurate this is. So select a new address, postcode, and then on this I can write. So let's try the right A, and it comes up as A. See, C. It's not gonna. It didn't recognise it, as you can see. It's not gonna because we got an A in. So if you notice, you'll only say you only got a choice of a B and L because of the way the postcodes are. So we'll try to do a B, right? So we'll try writing in a B.
B.
I recognised it, that's not bad. So we'll come back. So you can see, just by writing on your fingers, you can write on that. Not that I use it, I don't. You've got to use your phone when it's connected. You got all the you got all the phone. You could phone. You got your contacts and everything like that. You can even access your email as well, and not Gmail, but you know, if you use the email app on your phone, Gmail doesn't work for some reason. And then you got your settings, which you can adjust all the stuff. So the bass is quite high in here because we have got a subwoofer in this model behind the seat, and it is up quite high for me because I do like the bass. Hence why I've got the teenager number plate on the back here, just because the boys started calling me the teenager, but my nickname is Timbo, so that's why that's in the front. And that's basically the media center. Let's turn the ignition off. Let's turn it back on a second, and you can see that side camera now when it loads. Your blind spot camera. You've probably seen it a few times when I'm doing videos and stuff. I look over this way. There we are. You can see the camera then looking back. So that is pretty much the tour. Well, there's a couple of little things for you first. We've got a coffee cup holders here, and we've got a couple of storage drawers there. You can see my mess there, and my keep alive pills, as they say. You know, vitamins, because the doctor says you should take vitamins and all that sort of nonsense. But yeah, that's pretty much the cab. I hope you enjoy the video, to be honest with you. Now, so yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and until just make sure you like and subscribe, and until next time, we'll catch you all again. Bye bye for now.